the men the ones that's supposed to teach the woman? But then when she aborts the child, it's the woman's fault. But you just said the men are supposed to teach the woman. So if the woman is fucking up, ain't that on the men that's supposed to be teaching them? This shit sound good until Polight starts speaking. You know, they trained each other to applaud for themselves because they're the only ones that applaud. Let's go back to those YouTube clips a month ago when nobody was watching you until I got on your channel. All you gotta do is go to ISUPK Harlem and see they're in the tens of thousands thanks to Brother Polight. And without me, when they talk about their little insignificant God, they can only get a couple hundred hits. Just go to ISUPK Harlem and see what life was like a month ago, prior. They love this. They love quantity, not quality. So yeah, the beautiful woman up there, oh no, we don't, that's not what we do. What exactly do y'all do? We don't like to see our wives just like that because the men are gonna look at them a certain way. If the men can't control themselves, then your ass need the training. It's not the woman. A woman shouldn't have to feel like she gotta go through all sorts of hurdles because the men of her community can't control themselves. You need to spend more time training the men than you are talking about the women that need the training. How the hell are we gonna try to have women living a life when you're defining a problem with the brothers? You're defining the problem with the brothers is that they have no self-control. The onus is not on the woman to make subscriptions to niggas that have no self-control or sexual discipline. What if somebody wants to rape them? Then that's what we have to change in the community. But this is why he said, women, come up, baby. Come up real fast. Come on, baby. I wish I'd have wrote the round one card and made you walk by and do your thing. Now I'm gonna ask a sensible question. Since he wanna go off subject, go ahead, turn around, baby, turn around. Isn't she beautiful? For the brothers in the audience, wouldn't you like to have her in your life too? There's nothing wrong with that. Now, if she leaves me and starts having sex with other people, after I've fully committed myself to her, she couldn't even let me know that she wanted to leave, that would be wrong. But she should not feel like she has to dress down and hide herself from men. Because I'm going to tell you something about men. She could be a crackhead with a flat ass. And there's some niggas out there that still want to have sex with her. Niggas need help. They need help. They are in crowded train cars hoping they can get behind a woman so the shit could bump. The brothers need help. They need help. That's who we work on. So, now that we clear that up, I would love him to do that again. I would love him to show those beautiful black women and say, you see that? We're against that, and then teach you about homosexuality. Right after that, the only thing he can think of doing is showing a man putting a phallus in another man. This means he had to take the time out to pick the best dick-sucking images he can find. Like, how much times is this shit really gonna keep happening in a conscious community? He's a man of God, cussing up a storm, and showing people sticking penises in each other, and saying the beautiful woman up there, oh no, you see, that's the shit we against. I love doing debates. This is my shit. And again, stop complaining about debating. You showed up, brother. Just debate. Stop complaining. Shit. No, they can debate Dr. York after this. We got subject matter we got to cover. We don't do that. It's not about Dr. York. It's about new covenant. If you look at the flyer, it says New Covenant versus Hebrew Israelites. It's a good try. It's a good attempt. It's a 501c3. It's a good try. That beautiful woman over there, oh no, we don't do beautiful women. What kind of women do you do? Do you do women? It's starting to become a question in my mind as I see you're trying to make me feel guilty because I love beautiful women. I love fat asses. I love beautiful titties. I like small titties. I like big titties. I like playing with their nipple. I like the finger popping. I like to hit it from behind. I love to squeeze on their ass tight and just keep humping the shit out of them. Sometimes I like to do it nice and slow. Shit, I even go down. I rub my tongue and ram it all the way inside of her body if I had to. And then I'll come out and do this and try to do it as more nasty as possible until she loses her mind. I love to hear her screaming. Her screaming makes me open my pineal gland. I wind up in risk. I wind up in that shit that Dr. York was talking about. I've been there several times after fucking my wife. I can tell you that. I love black women. And let it be no secret, one of the #1 reasons why I love black women, because the sex is that good too. Why should we be insecure as a black race? Because we love sex. If you love sex, just say it. Don't let these people make you feel guilty. Do you love sex? Do you love wild monkey sex? Giraffe sex? Elephant sex? Have you seen elephants work? He don't teach. Nah, this is my nature. This is Polight. This is who you came to debate. I will tear the stupid shit you say apart and make the people realize how stupid it is. I'm supposed to be insecure because I love sex. I love pregnant woman sex. I'm gonna turn some of y'all off too, but I'm gonna freak my wife out later on tonight. I just move that baby to the side, tell her don't scream too much, we don't want to wake them up, and I go all the way in my pregnant woman. I love black women. Stop this. See, people don't like it when you're honest. I'll say some shit you would never believe someone would say honestly. But when I gotta start feeling uncomfortable because I love attractive women, or because I might have a fetish for heels, that's me. You don't have to like that. But you sound like you're mad that I'm allowing my wife to dress like that, and you're not allowing the women that you know to dress like that. Well, you so mad. He said, if I do the Bible, let me do the Bible and let you do what you do, brother. So if that be the case, if I like my women dressed like that, why you up here bitching to the people? Look at how his wife is dressing. We're against that. Look at her ass. People might like her. They might want to have sex with her. You sound traumatized. And then he talks about feminization. No, it's okay. If you love how my wife looks, so do I. That's all. I'm not insecure. I'm waiting for the day where the women can walk around butt ass again. You know why? Cause that's the African call, butt ass. You know why I like that? Because then the secret wouldn't be there. Then people would stop lusting. That's called reactance. It's a part of reverse psychology. If you keep hiding all that shit, it's gonna make people want to rape you. It's gonna make people want to chase you down. If we keep hiding or feeling uncomfortable looking at a woman that looks good, let me turn my head so she don't think that I'm looking at her. Let me make sure she doesn't realize that I think she's beautiful. See, that type of shit will make you a rapist. And that comes from that religious thinking, because you're not free to express yourself sexually. And I'm sure you'll contort that like much of my words for this debate. So we'll move forward. I love these kind of concepts. I gotta play that shit back over and over. You see that? I'm against that. My goodness, we had a black man say he's against that. I want to be rubbing up against that. He's against it completely. I don't understand this. I was about to take one of my wives in the back once I saw that. I'm like, the hell with the debate, he can have the next round. But the only thing that stopped me was when he said, I'm against it. They said, oh, what is he talking about? Then he showed the damn dude with his phallus out. And I'm like, I don't know what's the fetish with black men pulling these damn images out in freaking debates. What is the shit going on with all the things you can teach people? And he had to get a tattoo dick. Yeah, he couldn't get a regular dick. He had to show somebody with a tattoo on his shit. What kind of time do you take out to probe for shit like this? I've never seen stuff like this my whole life until I started coming to the conscious community doing debates. This is the last place I should be seeing that type of stuff. Go to the next one. I just want to make something clear here. When Columbus was going where he had to go in 1492, he was commissioned by the Catholic Church. But when Columbus did his thing in 1492, most people didn't want to sail because, and even though he said Columbus discovered America, I saw some people got at him on YouTube like, fam, you just waking up? Like, what's going on, bro? But anyway, we'll omit that because he do read the Bible after all. So what we're going to say is this. When Columbus was sailing, most people were like, yo, I'm not doing it because we're going to fall off the earth. If we keep sailing in any one direction for too long, the boat going to fall off. And this was the mind of religious people. People who read the Bible believed that the world was flat. This was in 1492. And Neptune was just discovered in 1930 by religious people. And Copernicus, about in the 1500s or 500 years ago, Copernicus helped qualify the idea that this is a heliocentric system, meaning the sun is in the center of all the planets, not the earth. So they just found this shit out 500 years ago. Didn't you get the clay tablet memo? Because if you go to these Amarna tablets, they show you that the sun was in the center of the system, not the earth. The religious people didn't know this. They show you where Neptune is, and where Uranus is, and where Pluto is, and where Earth is, and all the other planets. But you see, you reading your Bible. So it took y'all a while to catch on to this. But this was here 6,000 years ago. 6,000 years ago, this was here. But you want to read your Bible, and when you find out, you want to pat on your back, and you get mad at people like us when we say, fam, you didn't get the clay tablet memo yet? You still reading that? Don't you know the people who read that thought they was going to fall off the earth for sailing? It said in the Bible, God saw the sunset. If God saw the sunset, that would mean he was on planet Earth. Because if he was outside the planet, he would have not thought it set. This is a God, because the doctrine today is the Bible plagiarized? And what they have done is amalgamated the theogony of the ancient Sumerians. Theogony is the hierarchy of gods, the genealogy of gods, just so he understands it. You got internet service, brother. Just look up the words. But this is what I'm going to say. They amalgamated, they combined the theogony of the Sumerians. And that's why God sounds schizophrenic. That's why, and you see, he didn't answer to why God couldn't help Judah win his fight. When Judah was fighting the people one-on-one, God was with them, and they won. But when they came in chariots, God couldn't win the fight. But this is the same God that destroys whole nations. I asked why God said he's going to throw doodle in your face. We ain't get an answer for that either. This is not mature questions, but that's not a mature God. If you don't pray or honor him, he'll throw doodle in your face. Like, what kind of recourse is that? But is the Bible plagiarized? So let's think about this. 1 minute he says, eye for eye. Next minute, turn the other cheek. 1 minute, I'm a loving God. The next minute, I'm a God of war. In Exodus chapter 20, verse 5, 6, 7, you start reading about God. I'm the Lord thy God, I'm a jealous God. In another minute, the Egyptians will be my chosen children. In another minute, I hate the Egyptians. And he's talking about schizophrenia. Oh, he who loves the world does not have the love of the Father in him. And in another part of the Bible, for he so loved the world, he gave up his only begotten Son. So what this Bible is doing is creating a bunch of denominations that all think they have the information in the headlock, thus creating confusion. And the reason why God keeps contradicting himself, because it's a biblos, or what they call Bible, which means a compilation of books. They got information from different people's gods, and they put it all together and made it one God. And this is why he keeps contradicting himself throughout the course of the Bible. Somewhere in this room, there's an Israelite with weak knees. Because you're sitting in here and you're listening to this information, and you're not going to fool me and trick me into thinking, yeah, you see, he turned his head. He's one of them. You're not going to fool me and trick me into, try to trick us and think that this shit is not messing with you. I know damn well you want to have sex with that black woman you put up there. All of y'all are not going to say, you see, we don't do that. Y'all not going to tell me that. Y'all not going to tell me that. There you go. That's another one. No, that's you. Don't say no. There you go. I know they're in here and they're hearing this. They're going to wake up in cold sweats. They're going to struggle with the truth night to night. But it is going to resonate in them. Let's take a look at these brothers. You love sexy black women, don't y'all? Oh, he turns his back. Okay, cool. We know you love him. He'll go up there and cry. I'm in the wrong organization. Let's go to the next one. No, you gotta look at them. There's no way they can sit here and hear this information and it not register. It's just the clutch that religion has on people. But they're going to think about it. They're going to contemplate about these things. And that's why I'm talking to them personally. Because I know you have to reconsider why your God would throw shit in your face. You have to consider why God would tell you, if you love the things of this world, he doesn't embrace you. And then another minute tells you he loved the world so much he gave up his only begotten son. One minute, eye for an eye. The other minute, turn the other cheek. What kind of God would do this? I'm a loving God. I'm a war God. I'm a jealous God. Who the hell could you be jealous of that you was not responsible for creating? How could you be jealous? And whoever you're jealous of, that's who I should be praying to. Now I want y'all to take a look at a map. You see where Egypt is? I want you to know God has them moving around like nomads. You can't have a consistent culture if you're constantly moving around. And I'm going to show you how they start off in southern Iraq, and then God says go to Canaan. And then, listen to this shit, because they want to crack jokes about all the stuff they was talking about. Let's do it like this. Then they get to Canaan, okay? And then Jacob has 12 sons, and he favored Joseph, one of his 12 sons, and his own children conspired to sell him over to an Egyptian named Potiphar. Joseph goes under Potiphar in Egypt, and then he can read people's dreams. And then he became a advisor of Pharaoh because he was able to read Pharaoh's dreams. Then Pharaoh invites the Israelites. The Israelites come. Then, when they came too much, because he said, damn, I only invited like 12 of you niggas over here. You brought the whole fucking family. So now Pharaoh decides, I'm going to enslave y'all. Why he just send you back? He the one that invited you in the first place. Now he enslaves you. They told the women to kill everybody in this story in the Bible. But one of them was like, no, I'm not gonna kill this baby. Got rid of Moses. Moses goes there, comes back, saves his people, and take them to Canaan. God tells them, we gotta get you out of Canaan because there's famine in Canaan. Throughout the course of the story, all they doing is validating why they have so much influences from different people's cultures. Because the Egyptians do not have a story where they're moving around like nomads because their God is sending them all over the place. The Hindus do not have a story where they're moving around all over the place. They go and propagate their information, but they have a home base. What is the home base of the Israelites? They never had a home base. Everywhere they go, they're not wanted. You know why? Because if a large group of people start trying to come in your country and set up shop, everybody will say, who the fuck is y'all? Who wouldn't get at you? Come in uninvited. Well, we're going to figure this out. I'm just saying you cannot have a consistent culture clause if you're constantly moving around from one place to the next, like this story goes. Then God sent us over here. Then there was famine, so God sent us over there. Then we got slaves, so then God sent us over there. Listen, I'm going to show you how funny God is. I'm going to show you how religion is used to deny people of their sovereignty. I'm going to show you how they plagiarize the eschatological text of the Egyptian. I'm going to show you the cosmogonical views of the Sumerians and how those dispositions are also plagiarized, because this is the plagiarized round. Though throughout the course of this day I've been showing you the plagiarism. The Israelites are no more than Vedic Aryans. They'll tell you they started somewhere in southern Iraq. The Bible can't even contend that Abraham was actually born there. They don't even know where the prophet was born. The story just starts with him in the desert. And then God tells him to go somewhere and leave his father. And this is your legacy. This is your Israelite knowledge. This is what we're going to start our history with. Listen, this is some funny shit. We're going to go to the Hindus. We're going to go to India. You see where India is? They said that Abraham was from where? Ur of Chaldea. Chaldea. You understand what I'm saying? That's what they said. Who is Chaldea or Chaldea or Chaldea? You see, he may not understand phonetics. When someone's plagiarizing something, they may move a letter or two out. But if you can see X amount of similitudes, then you know it's been plagiarized. I said they also called Howard. I don't know why he does this all the time, and you're on tape contorting my words. But it's okay, because it's just going to show who's the liar. Because I don't have to lie, because I proved my point. And you never addressed the points that I made about the doctrine being stolen. You never addressed the point about God being named after a breast. You never addressed the point that the words may made up of it allude to a female body. You never address the Kawa story or the Howard story or the Rim Cell story. You never addressed the Talbots that I showed you. You just addressed Dr. York. And that had nothing to do with what you're here today for. And you keep saying, I don't know why I'm here. I'm starting to believe that because you're not responding to shit that I'm saying. What am I here for? God forbid I show another beautiful black woman on here, he may run out of here. Thank goodness I don't have no beautiful black woman on these slides. Iraq is Sumer, Iran, Persia, Afghanistan, Kashmir, Pakistan. This is where the Vedic tablets, the oldest tablets that the Hindus have spread and propagated from India to Pakistan to Afghanistan to Iran. Where the Hebrew Israelites started in Iraq. And over there, the Mesopotamian area, where you have Syria, going down Saudi Arabia, this is where the Sumerians were at. And when you keep going to the promised land, around the land of Canaan, where Jerusalem is, and they made up this term called Palestine, now you in the east with the Egyptians. So you had the Hindus doctrine. You had the Sumerian doctrine. And you had the Egyptian doctrine, the three most prominent doctrines in that whole area. And they try to be so slick, they created a term called the Brook of Egypt. And brook means a place that is extant. Extinct is when you're talking about something organic. Extant is when you're talking about something inorganic. So they say that there was a line that divided, or a river, a part of the Nile that divided Egypt from their little promised land area. But if you look at the map, guess what you're going to find out? Since they're not Africans, right? Let's think about this. They're not Africans, they're West Asians, right? But if you take a look at where the Israelites call themselves home, it's connected to Egypt. And last I checked, Egypt is in Africa. You see, that little, after Egypt, that little tiny area is full of black. That's them, y'all. The land isn't separated. It's all one. But they rather call themselves Western Asians or Asiatics than call themselves African, black. Now, you may not like the word African, but the fact you disassociating yourself from the rest of the continent as if your land that you claim is yours is not part of the continent, it's ridiculous. And that shows you have a certain level of self-hate that has been imbued into your psyche by way of the very religion you contend to be the truth. Now his next shit is going to be, he may be more articulate than me, and shit, he may be more smarter than me, but that doesn't mean it makes sense. Let's go to the next one. I told y'all this is what I do. Look at this. Abraham is from Ur Chaldea. Some say Chaldea. I said some say Chaldea, while others say Chaldea. But what is Chaldeва? Chaldeva are the priests that ran through those areas. Mind you, they're in the middle of culture. Where they say they're at, it's the Sumerians' territory. If they go on this side, it's the Hindus' territory. If they go on this side, it's Egyptian territory. They have no story. Everyone already was established. Everyone has pamphlets, tablets, and edifices. What did the Hebrews build? How the hell you gonna take credit for pyramids built in someone else's place? What did you build? Who builds their best edifices in someone else's house and don't build it in their own house? Where are your tombs at? The Lord had them destroyed. No, the invaders destroyed them all. Always some slick rhetoric they give you. Everybody else has proof that they existed before their doctrine. But them, they turn around and say, no, everyone stole from us. That's why we look like everybody we're surrounded by. Not bullshit, God shit. That's that shit he said he gonna put in their face. That's that God shit. It's GMO God shit. Abraham is supposed to be from Ur of Chaldea. Chaldea represents the priests of the Hindus. They call themselves Chaldeва. What a coincidence. But it won't stop there. The Hindus teach a Brahma. And the Chaldeva go around and teach about their father Brahma. Father in Hindu skirt is also the same word in Hebrew, which is Ab. So the Chaldea, which is where Abraham is from, Abraham's from Chaldea, or Chaldea, but the Hindus have a Chaldea that go around and propagate the doctrine of Ab-Brahman. 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 Abraham. Ab-Brahman. And if you look at the word Brahma, you can see that it's an anagram. An anagram is when you rearrange the letters that a word is made up with to create another word. So you can clearly see that if you look at the word Brahma, you're looking at Abraham if you move the letters around. So very simple. Okay? So very simple. There's a message there. So we're going to keep going. See, and this is where they got their doctrine from. That's the Chaldea. That's one of the Chaldeans who teach about Ab-Brahman, or simply Brahma. But that's not enough. I got to drive these points home so I can do another victory lap. Come on. Because we're going to show you how they stole from India, and then they stole from Samaria, and then they stole from Egypt, and then said everyone took something from them. That's why you see so much similarities. Abraham is the figurehead. Abraham is an anagram. Switch the letters around. Get Brahma. Brahma is the figurehead. You can clearly see the name Abraham comes from. Now you see, they didn't think I was going to come in here with the Hindu information. They just go, Egypt, 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 Egypt. But I told him I study other people's cultures. Why? Because anything that my people are studying, I need to study so I can relate to them in a conversation. So they don't build a defense mechanism when I use words and terms outside the jurisdiction of their language or their religion. If I can show you relatively that I've taken the time out to study the same thing you study, then there's a sentiment shared. If I meet a Spanish person and they come into my store and I say, bienvenido a la tienda, or I see a beautiful woman and I say, yo quiero des contigo toda mi vida, they'll turn around and go, woo, because just the fact that I can connect with them on their language, it shows I took the time out to understand you. So it's like having an intimate connection with the people you are educating. That's why we are supposed to take the time out as leaders or teachers to study what other people are studying in our community so we can be made abreast of what they're studying, so we can assimilate it and learn perspective ways to educate them or edify them. That's it. Abraham born in Ur of Chaldea or Chaldees. The priesthood of the Hindus was Chaldea. In the Bible, Abraham tells Pharaoh that his wife is Sarah. Guess what? Brahma has a wife named Sarah too. And not only does Brahma have a wife Sarah, in the Bible, Abraham lies and tells Pharaoh that his wife is his sister. Brahma, in the Hindu religion, his wife Sarah was his sister. How about that one? But everyone's stealing from the Hebrews, right? But they're the ones with the least amount of evidence to show they was there before the cultures that they say stole from them. Very interesting. Abraham is known as the father of religion. Ab means father in Hebrew. In Kashmiri, older than the Hebrew language, Ab means father. Abraham, without the vowels in Hebrew, looks like the same thing as Brahma, because in both languages, in its ancient context, they don't show you the vowels. Abraham's second wife, named Keturah, is known as Hagar. Brahma's second wife, Gayatri. And if you understand phonetics, you understand the A-E and I is interchangeable, and they changed that G to a K, I won't go there. I'll tell you, omit that. That's for some of us intellectuals in here that understand what process plagiarism has to go through. So I'm going to show you the easier plagiarism. How Brahma's second wife was likened to Hagar, which is a river. Okay, because it's a smaller river than the river that was named after his first wife. But over here, Abraham's second wife, Keturah, was known as Hagar. What a coincidence again. The Israelites have a tribe of Judah. And guess what? The Hindus have a clan called Judah, who protect the Chaldea, which sounds phonetically like where Abraham was from, Chaldea. But these can be all coincidences if you're a stupid person. How about using words like stupid? I know everybody's on that frequency. Let's go to the next one. That's Abraham, who's Brahma. Now the word for destroy can be found in the Hebrew concordance H2763, haram. That's what you're going to do when you click it on blue letter study Bible, it's going to say haram. Haram. It's going to say it twice when you go there. Let's go to Deuteronomy 20:16. I'm going to show you how fly their God is and why religion is so dangerous and it's really used for other races to colonize other races. Sure, to deny you of your sovereignty. That's not our doctrine. Look what they God did. They God, y'all gotta listen to this. I'm gonna just ask y'all brothers to turn around and look at this. On the real, security got us. There's more security. Just look at this, please, brothers. I want y'all to look at this. You too, my brothers. Just take a look at this. In Deuteronomy 20:16, but of the cities of these people, which the Lord thy God doth give thee for an inheritance. Listen, it said God gave them this land for inheritance, right? God said, I love you so much, I'm gonna give you this land, right? Everybody walking with me, everybody know what inheritance means, right? God said he gave you this land for inheritance, right? Pretend like I'm talking to you and I say I'm going to give you this land for inheritance. But there's only one catch. The people that live on that land don't know I gave it to you. Let's read this. This is interesting. God is off the hook. Look at this shit. But the cities of these people, which the Lord thy God doth give thee for an inheritance, thou shalt save alive nothing that breatheth. God said don't save nothing alive that breatheth. It gets worse. But thou shalt utterly destroy them. And the word that he used for destroy was karam, which means mutilate. No, like cut up body parts. Disfigure. So God said, y'all my people. I got some land for y'all. Only one catch. The people living there don't know you coming. Kill them when you get there and take that land I gave you. Does this make sense? And this is still the same God that throws shit in your face when you don't listen. But we're going to ignore that part. And we're going to get to this part. When you got people thinking that God commissioned them to take someone else's land, in the name of God, that's a dangerous doctrine. Because we don't know what the thin line is. And you know what? GMS is not them. But they call themselves Hebrew Israelites. So we saw two Africans duking each other in the ass, and all Africans have to be condemned. What about the group of brothers that came out of their organization that say it's okay to have sex with 9-year-old children? Why can't we condemn all you niggas? And my biggest problem is, they use the Bible to confirm they have the right to have sex with children at age 9. Nobody in the Egyptian culture in here has ever used the Book of the Dead to qualify them duking someone in the ass. Only in Hebrew Israelite culture. So if you can condemn all the Africans, we can at least condemn the Israelites that came out of your school that teach that knowledge. We can at least do that. And the brother of Marshall who said he was King David, who he confirmed, that wasn't God that said that. Oh no, that was one of our prophets that said he cross-dressing. He didn't say cross-dressing, let me stop. He was just pretending to be a woman. But flaming hot homosexual bandit. Why would, now we gotta do this again one more time. He has to answer this. If you could reincarnate and manifest yourself as anybody on planet Earth, why would you reincarnate as a faggot? Why would you reincarnate as a homosexual? Why would you do it? It's not me that officially confirmed that King David was a faggot. He did. That wasn't God, that was King David. Let's go to the next one. Make me sick. Look at these tablets. The Enuma. He said somebody was the author. Do you know what the word author means? Somebody bring me my books over there. Is a translator, not the author. And the person you was talking about doesn't give the best translations at that. You should go to L.W. King if you want to go to somebody. Just like if you want to read Egyptian texts, one or two of the top people would be Mercer. Okay? Or even Swallow the Lubitz. Okay? It's the quality books. Stop trying to go to Barnes & Nobles or somebody's stand in Harlem to try to debate somebody like Brother Polight. You're going to need these $250 books like the Elephantine Papyri in English. You're going to need these. Or your Swallow the Lubitz. Or your Faulkners. or your Mercers. I read quite a bit. Don't do that to them. Let's go to the next one. We just gonna go straight to the point with their numeric list. Tell them to answer the damn questions. Some sinners on, see, you don't understand. See, Doc said something about it raining on us all the time as a people. He made sure he played 4 seconds of what Dr. York said. And so you see, he said it raining everywhere we go. But that was figurative. But then he said that right after he was just saying, when God tells you about sleep, he's not talking about that sleep, he's talking about, you know, figurative sleep. So God figuratively made you go to sleep to take a rib out, to make a woman? Bullshit! All of that to say, he had to make a rib. He made earth. He made the sun. He made the moon. He made the stars. And now you're going to tell me that he had to put you in a symbolic sleep to take the rib out your body to make a woman? Are you kidding me? This shit hurts. It hurts. This is a grown man. This is a grown man you're listening to. And this is your leader. This is your leader. This shit hurts. We gotta create a program for religious people who think like this. He said all that shit about the dust in the body and everything, just to cover the fact the story was stolen from somebody. All you had to do is say, brother, I never saw that before, I can see. No, he goes and takes us to several verses about mystical dust and mystical sleep, so ribs can be taken out. And this one person who made the earth, sun, moon, and the stars. And it never crossed your mind why he has to stop and do it this way now. He creates a devil and condemns 2 newborn people who don't know as much as the devil. The devil converted 1/3 of the heavens to his doctrine and got them kicked out. And it was cast to planet Earth after you read Revelation chapter 12, verses 7, 8, 9, 10. And then he gonna condemn you to hell because you got tricked by a being that used to live in heaven that tricked the angels in his kingdom. And you just little Adam and Eve in the garden. This is a God that knows it all. But if you go to the book of Job, and start reading the book of Job chapter 6 and chapter 7, and start going verses 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. He said, where did thou come from, Satan? He said, from walking to and fro on the earth. How the hell is he walking? He got cursed in Genesis chapter 3, verse 13, 14, 15, to be put on his belly. Then in the book of Job, he's just walking around and God is like, oh shit, where you come from? It says the sons of God were in a meeting, and the devil just walked up in there, bust through the meeting, and he said, who are you? He said, y'all was just walking to and fro on the earth doing what I do. And then God says, try, you may have got Adam and Eve, but try my man Job over here. And then God has balls on his skin and makes him endure famine to prove to the devil that he's a faithful servant. Why does God got to prove anything to the devil? Did he create him? Why is he gambling with your lives? But you want me to believe this? This stuff is stolen. Tablet 4, number list. He split her up like flat fish into 2 halves. One half of her he established as covering for heaven. Genesis chapter 6, verse 7. And God said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters of the waters. Here we go, we see that the firmaments were created. In the numeral list, which they know the tablets existed before they came. It said it there first. In numeral list, tablet 5. The stars, their images as the stars of the zodiac is fixed. He ordained the year, and into the sections he divided the moon god he caused to shine forth. The night of the entrusted to him. He appointed him a being of night to determine the days. We're going to go to Genesis chapter 1, verse 14 to 16. It said, and God said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs. And And God made two great lights. So we see again, lights are being created, and the designation for who's going to rule it. And it says here in Enuma Elish chapter 4, and over against the deep water, he set the dwelling of nudity within the Lord, measured the structure of the deep, the water. Here again, we see that there's a water, a primordial water that's in the very beginning, and God is hovering across it. It says that God moved over the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. We see it's clearly stolen from tablet 4 of the Enuma Elish. You should read L.W. King's translations. Go to the next one. And we're going to go into the pyramid text and the coffin text. And I just want you to know that the Noah story is stolen from the Gilgamesh epics, or the epics of Gilgamesh. We're going to move right past this. Both of them had to build a boat. Both of them had gods that showed remorse. Both of them had 3 birds that they released to find out if there's more land. We're just going to move forward, move forward. This shit is stolen. It's stolen property. The pyramid and the coffin text, they wrote all over their walls. The Hebrews don't have nothing like this. All over their walls, not in 1 pyramid, not in 2 pyramids, but in 3. Pepi, Unis, and Tati. I'm going to give you the translations from Unis. Go to the next one.
Go ahead, boy.
The ancient Egyptian original, for I am the son of the Lord, confirmed for the son of the Lord, spelled 288 out of the coffin text. Now we're going to go over 2,000 years later to the Greco-Roman Christian Judeo copy. All of them stole the shit. I'm throwing all in here. They all get thrown under the bus. Now we're going to go down. Matthew 26:63. What does it say? Tell us whether thou be the Christ, the Son of God, the Son of God. We see the Son of the Lord, the Son of the Lord, see the Son of God, Son of God. That ain't good enough for you. It's going to get deeper. The ancient Egyptian original. Horus has completely filled thee with his eye and his name, fullness of God. Go to the, and that's in the pyramid text, utterance 364. We're going to go down to Ephesians 3:19. Over 2,000 years later, the Greco-Roman Christian Judeo copy might be filled with all the fullness of God. They used the same words. They felt since they were stealing some shit that's 2,000 years old, nobody would even be the wiser. They didn't even take the time out to do a good job at plagiarizing. They used the same words. Go to the next one. Go to the next one. Look at this. It gets worse. Look at the words I highlighted. The ancient Egyptian original. My detestation and hunger, and I will never eat it. My detestation and thirst, and I will never drink it. It is indeed I who will give bread to those who exist. Now, and that's in the pyramid text, utterance 2:11. Now we're going to go down to the Greco-Roman Christian Judeo copy. And we're going to see in John 6:35-36, it says, and Jesus said unto them, I am the bread of life. He that cometh to me shall never hunger, and he that believeth in me shall never thirst. We see bread, never hunger, never thirst. Look up there and see the same damn thing plagiarized. Go over here, the ancient Egyptian original. My son, who I am well pleased. My beloved son, with whom I am well pleased. Now we're going to go down to Matthew chapter 3, verse 17. This is my beloved son, in whom I am well pleased. My beloved son, in whom I am well pleased. We see again, clearly plagiarized. Go to the next one. This is my last note. Thank God I got those 3 minutes. Thank you, Howard Shah. Bullshit. All of it. John 8:23. And he said unto them, I'm out of Samaria. And he said unto them, ye are from beneath and I am from above. Ye are of this world and I am not of this world. The word that they use for above is anu, which is the word anu. That's where they get the word for heaven from, and I'm going to prove it. Now we're going to go to Matthew chapter 6, verse 9. And it says, after this manner, therefore pray ye, our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. The word they use for heaven is Oranos. It sounds like Orion, but if you look up the word in Greek, it says Uranus. But the Greeks didn't even know the planet existed. Uranus was named way later on during our eras. They didn't know that a Uranus planet existed. So what is Uranus? If you do, you're studying the Sumerian tablets, the Amarna tablets, from Tel El Marna, you'll find that Uranus is a designation. Remember, Abraham is from Ur of Chaldea. Ur means place. Ur Ana, place of Anu. Because we read the Sumerian tablets, Anu can be a place or a thing. It can be heaven or it can be the person. Ura Ana is the place in which Anu resides because he became the ruler of 1 out of 3 of the superimposed heavens. Last slide. And the Sumerians said that this Orion, this Oranos or Orion, this Anu, existed on the vertical band of the eastern horizon. Okay, cool. Down to my last two. Vertical band of the eastern horizon. Where is the vertical band of the eastern horizon? That's called Orion. Who else believed in Orion as heaven? You see, Uranus takes you to Uranus, but Uranus is Ora, Ana, or Anu. And that's why Jesus said, I am from above Anu, and you are from beneath. So when we go to the last one, the Egyptians also created heaven on earth. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, it will be done as it is in heaven on earth. Well, they created heaven on earth because the three pyramids at Giza, Khufu, Khafre, and Menkaure, correspond with Alilab, Alitaka, and Mentaka. The Nile River Valley corresponds with the Milky Way. The Sphinx corresponds with Leo. And they say in 2 Peter chapter 3 verse 8 on my last note, in the Bible, 2 Peter chapter 3 verse 8, it says one day to God is likened to 1,000 and 1,000 likened to a day. Orion is 1,000 light years away from here. Who did they get this concept? Where did they get this concept of Orion being in heaven? Where did they get it from? Peace. All right, let's give it up. Let's give it up. Come on, man. Yeah, let's give it up. Now, y'all know when the General Sarasupakse come in, December the 22nd. Raise your hand if you know who I'm talking about, the General Sarasupakse. That's going to be taking place in Harlem, round 2. You know Seti ain't going to play no games, man. Y'all already know that. At the National Black Theater on 125th Street, December the 22nd. The doors open up at 2, and you know Seti ain't taking no prisoners. Let's give it up for brother Tazaryach.
Is this the right mic? Is this the right one? Sure. The other one was the other one? No, that's good.
Yeah, that's good.
Y'all give it up for Polight again, man. We need more time. We got to, I ain't gonna start till you put the thing up.
What's up? What's up, Tamara?
I'm just waiting until you put it up, that's all, if y'all don't mind.
If y'all want a copy of the night's DVD, you can go see the brother right here. He gonna have them ready for you. You can take it home, do the research on it.
He brought up the Sumer. Okay, first I want to say, I ain't going to go too deep on it so I can stick with a lot of the shit he said. Anybody that said, he said that I said that King David was a homo. Y'all go watch the tape. I just want to know when I said it. That's another example of him calling me a liar. And anywhere that it says in the Bible that King David was a homo, please, when the Q&A comes up, just tell me where it's at. Because I was spending the whole time searching, trying to find it. I ain't seen it yet. You just got to show me. And when the Lord said that he gonna put shit in our face, we say this shit every day. Once again, this is spiritual talk. When I say I'm gonna shit on you, I don't mean I'm gonna squat down and shit on you. It's called metaphor. Learn how to talk. Good night, nigga. Are we black people or white people? Are we spiritual or not? We not. I mean, once again, I did say ebonics. Moving on. So he brought up how the Sumerians and all their knowledge and wisdom, which I'm surprised he brought that up because we addressed this a couple weeks ago. What does that have to do? Okay, first of all, this is in the book of Josephus, right? In the book of Josephus, who was a black man, by the way, from the tribe of Judah, he wrote about Abraham, which even when he did the breakdown on Abraham, you can't break down English letters and equate it to another language. Because to say Abba, like he said to say father in Hebrew is Ab, A-B. But that's not how you say father in Hebrew. When you say Abraham in Hebrew, it's not Abraham, it's Abraham. So it would be Abba is father. So his breakdown of even trying to compare it to the whatever Hindu motherfuckers he was doing, it don't match because it's not Hebrew that he's breaking down. That's like when they come up with that phrase Israel. when they try to say Israel is Isis, Ra, and El. The problem with that is when you go into the Hebrew and read Israel, it's Yasha Allah. The word Yah means I, Shah means prince, Allah means power, prince of the power. So you gotta get the true Hebrew before you can use English breakdowns to do it. And then we'll show you how them same scholars that, now he sit here and pissed on George Smith, said I shouldn't have used them, but then bought the goddamn shit George Smith put out. You can't have it both ways. So we'll show what George Smith said about how he broke down the Sumerian tablets, which will show you how everybody broke down the Egyptian tablets as well. All of them broke it down based on the knowledge of the Bible. The discoveries of the Sumerian tablets was discovered in 1876 or 70. The document will give you the exact date. The Bible was already in existence. I'll also give you a timeline. Show me anybody breaking that down before Adam. The records that we have come all the way from Adam all the way up until Christ. So now you got to show me records of the flood or anything like that before Adam. And I'll show you the timeline that David showed on it. So now this is in the book of Josephus. I'm going to read this real fast. It says, for whereas the Egyptians were formerly addicted to different customs and despised one another's sacred customs and rites, and were very angry with one another on account, Abram conferred with each of them and confuted the reasons they made, using every one of their practices demonstrated that such reasonings were vain and void of the truth, whereupon he was admired by them. This is Abram from the Chaldeans, like he said. So the fact that the Chaldeans can read the stars, that don't mean shit. What does that mean? Because we about to read that Abraham could do it too. This battle ain't about who read them first. Who cares? This ain't about, it ain't copying. In America, right now, the Americans got spaceships, Russia got spaceships. Who cares about either one of them or who started them? We ain't saying that they come from the Bible. We saying that the law, statutes, and commandments come from the Bible. The children of Israel come from the Bible and that they existed. That's what we're talking about. You're not showing me that the Bible was plagiarized by showing me that we studied the stars too. He also tried to make a point that the Bible said the earth was fucking flat. What scripture did he find for that? I'll cut him in that too. Once again, it's easy to talk, but you're going to have to prove what you're saying, so I'll keep going on. So now you say, so it says, he was admired by them in those conferences as a very wise man and one of great sagacity. It's like a sagacity when he discoursed on any subject he undertook. And this not only in understanding it, he communicated to them arithmetic, like he talked about Egypt like they great. The arithmetic they learned was from Abraham. I'll keep going. He communicated to them arithmetic and delivered to them the science of astronomy. So all that knowledge y'all talking about the Sumerians had it, they ain't the only ones that had it. And to show you how more dominant we are, who did the first open heart surgery? Who did it?
Black man.
Say again?
Black man.
In like the 50s. Who do they say did it? Who do they say was the first open heart surgery? Now we know that today, but the first one was the so-called white man. So what does it care either way? That don't make, now they plagiarized us. So now when I keep reading, it says Abram came into Egypt, they were unacquainted with those parts of learning, for that science came from the Chaldeans into Egypt. So Abraham was just as smart as the so-called Sumerians. So now let's get into the George Smith. Pull up George Smith for me. He said I couldn't use him. In his first statement, he said I couldn't use George Smith. I was supposed to use somebody else. And then he pulled up George Smith. And he said, I'm a contradiction. Is that not a contradiction? Let's look. It says the Enuma Elish, because he likes to deal with time, like he brought out, this was discovered during this time, this was discovered during that time. And the saddest part about all this, we about to debate over some shit the white man say he discovered. When the white man also say, like he brought out, which I won't say that he lied to me, because I never said Christopher Columbus discovered America, but the white man claimed that he discovered America. The white man claimed to be a Jew right now, but he's a liar. That's why the Bible calls him the devil. I'll show you too. He said the angels and Satan fighting against God. Satan is not fighting against God at all. At all. There ain't no scripture in the Bible that the angel in heaven, Satan, is fighting against them. We put names on people, which is why when we say, y'all say the white man is the devil and you don't believe in the Bible. You call him the devil because the devil just means deceiver. The white man said, pale-faced speak with a forked tongue. Let's get some common sense here. So now, it says the Enuma Elish, also spelled Enuma, is the Babylonian creation mythos. It was recovered in 1849 and published by George Smith in 1876. It says the Enuma Elish exists in various copies from Babylon to Assyria. The version dates to the 7th century BCE. The composition text probably, meaning they're not sure, dates to the Bronze Age, to the time of Hammurabi, or perhaps the early Kassite era, roughly 18th to 16th centuries BCE, although some scholars favor a later date of 1100 CE. And does anybody know why those times are different like that? Anybody know? Those times are different like that because the carbon dating system that they use is the most inaccurate shit that you can find. Carbon dating is not accurate on any level, but y'all love the white man. Y'all love him. When even they tell you that the carbon dating is off, some say off by 2,000 years, some say...
Excuse me, can y'all please keep it down, please? Let this brother speak, man.
Yeah, I know what side to say, but I don't mind. So I deal with this every week. This is just a camp to me. It don't matter to me. So now, come down, stop right there. This is how George Smith pieced together the Enuma Elish. Hold up. Pull up the creation time flood. Pull that up for me real fast. See if you got that for me. And the facts come down. He also talked about Horus. He talked about copying scriptures. This is what the white man calls the creation time. When you look at when they discovered or what they dated, it dates back to 2275 or the Enuma Elish 2150 BC, but it doesn't date 3052 where they say Noah. So, and I don't care about none of this time. Y'all do. Y'all treat this time like it's something. I treat it like it's shit. But since y'all care about time, I'll show you that. Even when they found it. So now the Enuma Elish, go back to George Smith. The Enuma Elish discovered in 1870 with a language that nobody could interpret at the time. This is how they did it. It said, piecing together this account as best as he could. Well, and just keep in mind how y'all say we follow spooky shit. We follow a spooky God. We take leaps of faith that require foolishness to follow. Just keep that in mind. It says, piecing together this account as best as he could, Smith engaged in a brilliant piece of detective work, building plausibly on external evidence to make sense of the fragmentary text. Did y'all hear what I just said? It said, building plausibly on external evidence to make sense of the fragmentary text. Plausible meaning questionable. External evidence, what external evidence did he already have? The Bible, the scrolls. And when you say the Bible is plagiarized, show me one verse that doesn't match the Tanakh or the Torah. Then you can tell me that the Bible is plagiarized. So now that's the first thing. Plausible external evidence. His accomplishments are all the more impressive, given that he built some of his interpretations on guesses. This is the man he pulled up that we got to follow. When he's saying he built his interpretations on guesses about words that no one had ever deciphered. So he has to use his external evidence to make guesses about words that he had deciphered in lines that were often only fragments. So if the fragment is broken in half, he guesses what the rest of the shit says on his external evidence that already existed, which is the Bible. But y'all give more credence to a white man when the Bible is a black man's book, which we'll go into as well. This is fucking disgusting here. This is what, let me keep going. It says, his lines were often only fragments of their full selves. Smith's writing are full of discoveries that stood the test of time. That's why Polight uses them, because they stood the test of time. Often, though, involving intuitive leaps beyond literal surfaces. What does that mean when it says intuitive leaps? I say that our faith in the Most High is false because we believe in some spooky God. But y'all will take the white man that's the devil and will make intuitive leaps to believe his shit. Keep going down, huh? Keep going down. Scroll up there, the what? No, keep going to addition. It says, in addition to the tablets and fragments, look how they piece this shit together. It said, in addition to tablets and fragments, the museum, and I got this from the Smithsonian, because I know y'all got them smartphones. I don't want y'all to think I typed this up myself. I don't got that kind of time. Also, sidebar. When I put that faggot shit up, I was not looking for that. I was in a book called Ancient Egypt. And I'm scrolling through the pages, just looking at the different gods that they worship, and I seen that shit. I said, good night. I don't look for rods and shit like that. They do that. They condone that. It said, in addition to tablets and fragments, the museum held many paper squeezes. Anybody know what a paper squeeze is? A paper squeeze is when you got the tablet, and they take a sheet and wet the shit to get the imprints, and then they carry that shit over down there and interpret it. What kind of shit is that? So now, it says, held many paper squeeze impressions that have been made by pressing damp paper on inscriptions too big to move. It was an extraordinary trove, if only it could be read. So even the paper squeezes that they got to give y'all this story of the flood, which you wonder why it matches the Bible, because they already had the Bible and all they did was make a duplicate and said this came from the Bible. That's all they ever did. So now, it says, but the problems were not only linguistic, meaning the problem wasn't only the language barrier which they couldn't understand, with the fragments that was already broken up. He says the squeezes deteriorated on handling with were further damaged when mice got at them. Meaning even when they brought the fragments back, the paper squeezes bullshit back, the mice ate at them. Then it says unbaked clay tablets could crumble, and even those that had been baked, giving them the heft and durability of terracotta tiles, had often been broken around the ruins, amid the ruins of Nineveh. So he's going to say, like, he's guessing this shit based on the Bible. And y'all fall for it. Y'all claim to be conscious. I guess conscious must mean you woke. I ain't trying to be funny, but I'm assuming that's what conscious mean, that you woke. But y'all niggas sleep.
That's right.
That spirit of deep sleep that Adam had when he got his family member, when he got his cousin, that's the sleep y'all under right now. To believe this mumbo jumbo, all you gotta do is go to Smithsonian right now, look up George Smith, and it's gonna say that the shit was guessed, that the tiles was broken, the tablets and fragments was in pieces. So how can a white man, y'all trusted the white man, he's saying that the white man plagiarized the Bible, but he ain't plagiarized this shit right here. He ain't plagiarized this, he ain't plagiarized this, he ain't plagiarized the Egyptian text, because again, the white man is the one that gave you your Egyptian history. Manethos and Herodotus is the person that gave it to you, not no goddamn African. African didn't even give you that history. The white man gave you that history. So since you trust in the white man, I'll show you some more shit. Hold on, let me finish reading this here. It says, tablets were stored in loose boxes and sometimes damaged each other's. Items under consideration were laid out on plaques in dimly lit rooms. This is his pace. Working at a furious pace, he published his translation at the end of 1874. And the next year, finished no fewer than 4 books, and a large collection of the translations of all the major literary texts he found, which again, the text that he say he found is broken fragments, paper squeezes that deteriorated. So this is all the white man's imagination. I'll keep going. It says, no longer able to link this more varied group of texts to the flood story alone, he simply expanded his biblical frame. What does that mean? He already had the Bible in existence, already studied it, already read about the flood, already read about the beginning and the creation of the heavens and the earth, and all he did was say, the Sumerian tablets say the same exact thing. That's all he did. And translated, and y'all gobbled it up. I don't have to make this up, but y'all trust in the so-called white man. Let's address what the white Egyptologists say about Israel, and I'll get back to him real quick. Give me black image in the minds of whites, and I'll address that too. And by the way, like, we love black women. Don't get it twisted at all. In my statement, he forgot to say the part that I'm gonna go and love my wife after this is over. It's like, it's a celebratory. She says she gonna, well, that's too much, but you know what I'm saying? So we love women. And she waiting for me to come home with the victory. She waiting. You know what I'm saying? And then I'll go see my other one and get another victory. Once again, we got multiple wildcat. It's the cars. We love women. We just don't have to make them look like whores. That's all. That's all the difference. Just the women property. So now, give me the cover of the book. I got a picture of the cover of the book first. Don't show them the killer. Yeah, y'all love the white man. Y'all don't hate the white man because you get your history from him. The saddest part about the Bible, not the saddest part. The saddest part about saying the white man gave us the Bible is as if the white man said the Jews were white people. As if the transatlantic slave trade is not in there. If you can show me a verse that don't describe me, I'll put the mic down. But you can't do that. So now, no, you ain't got a cover of the book? No sweat. This book here, I got it over here. Captain Tazaryach. In my suitcase, I got the book. I just want to show them the cover so they don't think I made this shit up. And this book right here, this is page 74 of a book called The Black Image in the Minds of Whites. And this is a book that took almost 100 years to write, where the white man studied black people. When I say studied them, he studied their brain, studied their history, studied their ways, studied everything about them, and he was able to write and say certain aspects about them. And this is what the white man said about us. It says in the 1840s, Morton collaborated with George R. Glidden, an Egyptologist. Once again, you call yourself Egyptologist, you sharing it with the white man. We call ourselves Israelites, we not sharing it with them bastards at all. Because there's a distinct difference. We don't follow the same thing that they do. Let me see this. This is the book right here. This book it was written from 1817 to 1914. The black image in the white mind. Now, in the 1840s, Morton collaborated with George R. Glidden, an Egyptologist who provided him with mummy heads and information about, go to the next slide. Now remember, George R. Glidden, a white man, a white Egyptologist that's studying black people. You got the next page? The racial significance of Egyptian tomb inscriptions, which is the proof that the white man translated your scrolls. What y'all trusted is totally translated from the so-called white man. I'll keep reading. In Crania Egyptica, published in 1844, and give me Deuteronomy 28:68. Morton pointed out that both cranial, the study of our brain, and archaeological evidence showed that the Egyptians were not the Negroes. I'll read it again. It said cranial and archaeological evidence showed that the Egyptians were not the Negroes. Niggas in the back was like, that ain't Egypt. I don't give a damn if it ain't Egypt, because you ain't Egypt. I just said it right here. Your white scholars that y'all love, the info y'all love to pull up. Now, it's called study. Once again, y'all like to think because of the debate, excuse me, when the cat first came up to us, he said, we stay in one book, you can't stay in one book. Which shows you he didn't even understand the knowledge of that. When I read the scripture when it said, beware of making many books, there is no end. It wasn't talking about not reading the book that your master made. This is your new master, the white man. It wasn't talking about reading the book that your master made. It was talking about reading another book that talked about some so-called salvation of another nation when it's not yours. And the proof is, every religion that we have gotten has resulted in the death of us. I have yet to see one that actually saved us at all. I'll keep reading. I'm sorry. You got Deuteronomy 28:68. I'm going to just read this one more time so y'all can get the book. The name of the book is Crania Egyptica, published in 1844. And in it, I didn't read the best part. It said that cranial and archaeological evidence showed that the Egyptians were not the Negroes as abolitionists and colonizationists have maintained. Similar to y'all. Y'all just like y'all fathers, y'all just the sons. You Egyptologists, y'all just the sons of the white man. Because they thought the same thing. That the black people over here was Egypt. Just like y'all think y'all Egypt. But what they said was, and that in fact, blacks had been regulated to the same servile position in ancient Egypt as in modern America. Which means what? Who was in servile position in ancient Egypt? The children of Israel. So who's in servile position in America? The children of Israel. Give me Deuteronomy 28:68. Deuteronomy! Y'all trust, hold on. Y'all trust so much in the white man. Once again, even when we be at camp, we only entertain white people for y'all's sake. We entertain white people because y'all uplift the white man and his knowledge So much so that once we confound a white man, then y'all will listen. But here's your white man telling you that you're not an Egyptian that you're trying to be. Keep going.
Deuteronomy chapter 28.
Give me him.
Verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
When you say that the Bible is plagiarized, and you say that words is copied and so forth like that, you would have to show me another book that gives us our identity then. Like for all of y'all that say that we Egyptians, show me the proof that we Egyptians. That was one of the questions that I had. Show me, like for all the Egyptian study that y'all doing, even Polight when he did his DNA test, showed that he wasn't an Egyptian. So now, if you will tell me you're Egyptian, show me the proof. If I'm telling you that I'm an Israelite, read it again.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
When we say the word Egypt, even by Polight, he knows this is not foolish. The word Egypt just means Egyptos or bondage in the Greek. That's a Greek word. Just like when you read the Bible in the Old or New Testament, you can't use English words. Like when he brought up all that what was the city he brought up? No, not the Chaldean part. He brought up the Hindus. But when he's breaking down the Hindus as opposed to the Bible, he's using English words. How can you use English words to translate Hebrew words? English, that's like if I say, if I was Spanish, I would say nosotros. What does nosotros mean?
What does it mean? Us or we, right?
It means us or we. Now, how the hell can you say we comes from an ancient Greek word meaning this when you trying to cut a Spanish man, when the Spanish man gonna say, well, that don't mean that, it's nosotros. You can't break it down line by line using that. I would have had more respect if he took the Hebrew word, but he fucked that up when he brought the shit about Yahweh, talk about Hawa is Eve, but Kava is Eve. Come on, man. This shit is childish. It's childish. He didn't even understand that either. He think when I'm saying childish that I think this debate is pointless. I don't think this debate is pointless. Because if we didn't have this particular debate, then y'all would still be asleep. Now, if y'all remain asleep after this, it's on y'all. The scriptures say in Ezekiel the 3rd chapter that I have set thee as watchmen. We the watchmen. To warn y'all of the coming disaster. Now y'all stay up in that Egyptology, your kids get shot, you get thrown in jail, that's your fault. That's your fault. That's just what it is. Keep reading.
With ships.
With what?
With ships.
The transatlantic slave trade only applies to two peoples. And when I'm saying two people, I'm hoping y'all ain't gonna be like Polight and be literal. I mean, I think only two people went in the transatlantic slave trade because he's not spiritual. When I'm saying two people, common knowledge is that the transatlantic slave trade started from Africa to America. When I say common knowledge, I don't mean everybody believes that's just common knowledge. But the transatlantic slave trade started the second Columbus came to America. When Columbus came over to America, he took 1,100 Taino Indians and brought them over to Spain. Out of those 1,100 Taino Indians, 300 survived. You know what the white man said? Good business. That's what the white man said. And then after he took those Taino Indians, he started slaving all the Indians. Then he came and brought us from Africa to Spain. I'll show you how the 10 tribes got over here in a second too. Because he said the Bible say the earth is flat. Where the fuck? Let me finish. Keep reading.
By the way, whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again.
What we gonna see no more again is the land of Israel. And I don't mean you can't go over there and tour. But you can't go over there and stay. You can't go over there and live. You can rent. You can even own a home. But you owning it because living in a land that another person is running because we left the law, statutes, and commandments. Like nobody is trying to really fix that part. Keep going.
And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies.
This George Smith that we just read is your enemy. He's not your friend. He ain't your buddy. That's why when we say the white man is the devil and there ain't no getting along with him, because we were sold unto our enemies. Keep going.
For bondmen and bondwomen.
For bondmen and bondwomen. When they would say, give me 10, give me 25, give me 30, give me 45 for these young men. That's us. That's in the Bible. You can read that. Now, I have to read it in English because I'm speaking to English-speaking people. If we read this from a Tanakh, it would say the same exact thing. Now, you show me where that applies to a white man, and I'll drop the Bible. Now, he said that the Bible say the earth was flat. Pull it for me, y'all. This is what I mean. You have to look at the Bible. If you're going to say the Bible is plagiarized, or you say the Hebrew copies these stories, don't give me an English translation of it. Don't take Abraham in English and say Ab, Haram, because in the Hebrew, they don't even go together. If I was to write it, Abraham, Abraham, it would be A, the Ba, the Ha, and the Rum would be together. He don't know Hebrew, so he connects the Haram when that's not how it's supposed to go. That's right. But if he's a brother, he can come to class, we can train him up. We can train him up. You know what I mean? Ain't no sweat. Ain't no big deal to it. You know what I mean? You got the scripture out? Remember, he said the Bible said the earth was flat, and I cut him with wisdom of Solomon when it said the circle of the stars. Once again, read it out, read it.
Isaiah chapter 40, verse 22.
The earth is flat now, according to the Bible.
It is he that sitteth upon the circle of the earth.
Say it again, wait, just say it real slow. Because he said, now remember, he's accused me of lying. He's been the liar the whole goddamn night. The whole night. He said Eve was Kaaba, and he said, I'm going to just stick with those two. I'm not giving him no pass. I'm going to stick with, speaking of pass, sidebar real quick. He don't even know how to battle. I'm going to show you how. He had an opportunity to cut me. Does anybody know when? Not today. But he had an opportunity to shame ISUPK. Does anybody know when?
Read the wrong verse.
When we what?
Read the wrong verse.
When we read the wrong verse, I wait for shit like that. Y'all see how I keep going back to Kaaba and Yahweh, how I'm going to the circle of the earth and all the other shit he lied about? Because I won't let him off it.
That's right.
He don't know how to do that shit, so he was confused. What should I say? What should I do? He keep asking me. I know he got it wrong. I'm going to just wait till it's over. You can't wait till it's over and then come back and say, well, I was waiting for this and doing for this. But if he's a brother, he coming back, we can teach him how to cut. We can teach him how to do that. Which we cutting him right now. You know, it's disgusting. Read it from the top again. Read it from the top.
Isaiah chapter 40, verse 22.
Yeah.
It is he that sitteth upon the circle of the earth.
The Lord just said, it is he that sitteth on the circle of the earth. So make sure y'all ask Polight, what scripture did he read that said the earth was flat? He did say it. Once again, y'all go watch the debate. All y'all gotta do is watch the debate. All you gotta do, listen, Sarnetta, y'all said y'all gonna have the DVD available. Y'all can watch it, put it in your cars, and then you can come back to me. I'll be on 125th Street in Lenox Ave and say that I didn't say it, and say that he didn't say it. Ain't no big deal. It ain't really that big a deal. So now, let's move on. He said that the Bible is plagiarized, that it's not our book, that we copy these stories. Let's get a little history on the Bible. Wait, I'm sorry. One more definition. Give me got ham for me? Ham, no sweat. I'm going to read this real fast. Where's that? Right here? This one? No sweat. This is the Zondervan Bible Dictionary. Same one I had. Like, there's no difference between, excuse me, it is a difference. The other Bible dictionary I had and this one, the only difference is that one is bigger because it has pictures, but it's the same definition. So, once again, I don't need the white man to know that I'm not an African. Y'all need the white man to tell you that you're not an African. So thank you for saying that this is by the white man. Why did I have to talk about George Smith? Because I knew your ass was going to bring the shit up. You bringing up the goddamn white man. Shut the fuck up and let me do my thing. Good night, nigga. So now, moving on. Again, y'all brought the white man up. We could have just stuck to the scriptures. I'll show you in the scriptures the Bible is black. I'll show you that thing was black. So now, and they lied to show you them. Look, yeah, that's right. Ham, it says Ham, the youngest son of Noah, born probably about 96 years before the flood, and one of the 8 persons to live through the flood. Now, he can't even deny the flood because his white master proved the flood. Let me just address that real fast too. Just because the Sumerians had a story of the flood, they should have a story of the flood because there was only 8 persons that survived it. So when they go establish their countries, go establish their cities, they're going to tell a story of what they survived. So Ham would tell his sons the story. Japheth would tell his sons the story. Shem would tell his sons the story. And all of them would have a version of the same goddamn story. The difference is the Bible gives you the correct version. The proof is, show me a prophecy anywhere else other than the Bible that actually comes true. Show me one. Show me one. Give me one Egyptian prophecy about your condition while you lost your kingdom and how you going to get your kingdom back. Show me one. Show me one Sumerian. Show me one Babylonian. Show me one of any of the goddamn countries or religions that you follow that you didn't make up yourself that show the prophecy of your fall and your rise. While you do that, I'll show you mine. I ain't seen it yet. I ain't seen it yet. So now, moving on. Ham, the youngest son of Noah, born about 96 years before the flood, and one of 8 persons to live through the flood. He became the progenitor of the dark races, meaning the father of the dark races, but not the Negroes. Even the term African American didn't get stamped on us until the 80s by Jesse Jackson. You can look this up. Before that, we were just Negroes. Now, of course you had black people that wanted to go back to Africa. And that time in the 30s, 1900s, I'd want to run from the white man too. But that don't mean that you those people. We've been in America 500 years. We ain't American. We not the same people. So anyway, it says, but not the Negroes. But this who Ham became the father of? The Egyptians, the Ethiopians, the Libyans, and the Canaanites. This is who the Africans come from, Ham. We don't come from Ham. We come from Shem. Moving on. Go on. Let's show some stuff in the Bible, and I'll address some of the stuff. I'll address the rest of the stuff Polight said. But at the same time, I have to show you that this is our book. Give me 1 Maccabees 3 and 48. It's important that I show you this, and at the same time address what Polight said, because then I would lose what I came out here to show y'all. To show y'all that this is our book. And it's important to know that the image, that's why I played that video of Polight saying that the whole swastika and the cross, and if the white man copied that, that don't mean that it belonged to him. Because the white man copied everything about ours. He take everything about ours. And then they also say, hold on. Give me the Epirus Papyrus, please. To say that they also say that we was never in Egypt. So I have to prove that we was in Egypt. The abortion that exists today, the reason why it exists the way that it does is because the white man, once again, when the scriptures say that ye shall be brought into Egypt with ships, it ain't just talking about the slavery. It's talking about everything that Egypt did. This enemy that you will be under is going to do the same exact thing. So that means he's going to copy Horus's rod or men's rod or whoever it is. He's going to put it in there. He's going to copy the pharaohs. He's going to copy everything because the Egyptian culture fits right into what the white man likes. He loves false gods. He loves being a homo. He can do all that in Egyptian worship. So it fits right in with it. So now, this right here is an Epirus Papyrus that was discovered in 1910 by y'all father, the so-called white man. And again, I don't need this. I don't need the white man. Once again, when he said the whole DNA test, I don't need a white man to define who I am. I define who I am by what I follow and by the Lord putting a spirit on the men of the Lord to raise up a nation from 1969 till now. That's right. Till now. So now, this is the Epirus Papyrus written in 1910. Now what I did was I highlighted the portions. And this poem was written by an Egyptian where he described the Exodus, which is the proof that we was in Israel. It talks about on this side is the Epirus Papyrus, on this side is the Torah. It says, plague is throughout the land, blood is everywhere, the river is blood, men shrink from tasting. Exodus, all the waters of the river were turned to blood. There was blood throughout all the land of Egypt, and the river stank. Come down a little bit more, get to the part where he killed them babies. Give me Exodus 11 and 7. Stop. Is that the part with the babies? Keep going. Yeah. Wait. No, keep going. Did I miss it? Stop. Well, I'll just stop right here. I don't have it, but still give me Exodus 11:7. It says, behold, the fire mounted up high, its burning goes forth against the enemies of the land. By day in a pillar of cloud to lead them away. You can Google this. You can Google this. Now, I never looked this up before this debate, because again, I don't need to look this up. The Bible clearly identifies us, which is why I consistently say, if you show me another book that does. And all this is just a translation. To even say that the King James Bible, which he never showed that the King James Bible was plagiarized. He brought out some scriptures that in English, now in English, he didn't show it in Hebrew. He showed it in English and say how they copied this and this. But when you have a white man, which George Smith is the proof of how the white man translates everything, especially Egypt, because George Smith wasn't trying to disprove the Bible. George Smith was trying to prove the Bible. That's why he used his biblical knowledge to interpret it. Thank you. So now, read the scripture you got.
Exodus chapter 11, verse 3.
No, verse 7, huh?
Like verse 7. But against any...
Hold on one second, I got what? So my time will cut short. Okay, so I'm at 45 minutes already? Okay, don't slip. Okay, give me 1 Maccabees 3:48 and then pull up the icons. Let me show you something. During the Byzantine Empire, black people ruled Europe. Even though 1 million Jews fled into Europe in 70 AD, that don't mean that we stayed there. So I want to show y'all a couple of slides. Look, stop, bring it back. This is the Byzantine Empire. On this side, this is what the white man did in the Renaissance on that side. As you can clearly see, these is black people. The true ancient icons that are here. On this side, you see where they changed them and made them white people. Keep going to the next one. And then give me the Russian icon book where we got this from and show how they say it survived the whitewash. Keep going. Keep going. If you shrink it down at the title slots, shrink it down for a second, because I named them who they are, because they asking who these people are. See, this is John, the real John of the Bible. Go to the next one. This is Joseph. This is written during the Byzantine Empire. Keep going. This is Luke. Keep going. Now let's prove it. Give me the Russian icon, where we got this from. All you got to do, once again, who was the Lone Ranger? Since y'all want to laugh and chuckle, right? Who was the Lone Ranger? Who's the Lone Ranger? Come on, everybody watch TV. Then we all grow up watching the Lone Ranger and Tonto. Now, that was a white man, right? No, he wasn't. The Lone Ranger was a brother. Just came out about 2 weeks ago. The Lone Ranger was a black man. The original, well, who I'm talking about here? The original Lone Ranger was a brother that the white man emulated. You know why you're able to find that so fast? Because you have the internet. So the white man can't disguise and hide our history as easily as he did back then. That's why we can find that history. So why is it no surprise that when the white man brought us over here, we can't read, we can't write, we can't learn, and then when they do give us knowledge, they give us their interpretation of the knowledge. Why is it so surprising to find out that we these people? You got the Russian icons photo? There's a book, the Russian icon where it say they whitewashed it. And give me, you got 1 Maccabees 3:48? You got it on your phone? I'll read it so you can get the Russian icon photo. This is 1 Maccabees chapter 3 verse 48. Because them whitewashing our images is not new. They've been doing this. I'll read it for you. 1 Maccabees chapter 3 and 48. This is after Alexander the so-called great and Ptolemy came and destroyed the land of Israel. And after they did it, it says, 1 Maccabees 3 and 48, and laid open the book of the law, wherein the heathen had sought to paint images, the likeness of Slack, where the heathen had sought to paint the likeness of their images. They have today painted the greatest image of the greatest man that walked the face of the planet, by a black man named Jesus Christ, Yahushua Mashiach. He mentioned Horus and how to say Christ is copying Horus. But Christ ain't never took it up the ass. Ever. Ever. He ain't never been... 2 minutes. He ain't never took it up the ass by some other god named Seth, and then catch the semen, and then run to his mama and say, look what I got in my hand, mama. He ain't never did that. All you gotta do, they cut me, well I ain't saying they cut me, all you gotta read is the contentions of Horus and Seth. That's all you gotta read. Where he took it up his ass, on purpose, and then brought it to his mother, who cut his hand off, put it in some lettuce, gave it back. This is what y'all follow. This is what y'all follow. You got it for me? This is also from the Russian icons. Keep going. This is a white man in here. Keep going. Look at him. Stop. They painted white, but you see the true image there. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Stop. This is the icons of Constantinople. This book probably costs about $100. I'll read the highlighted portion. It says icons existed not only as panel paintings, but also as frescoes and well mosaics, some of which have emerged from layers of whitewash, which the so-called white man did. Because again, the white man was all about stripping you of your identity, and then he smacked Egyptology on you. You study Egyptology, you study in the white man's religion. He smacked Christianity on you. You study Christianity, you study in the white man's religion. He smacked Islam on you, which ain't really a white man's religion, but they just as Christian as the goddamn Christians and Egyptologists and all that shit. The only place you can go that's about you and only you is this Bible. My last scripture, guys, get one more scripture. Give me Zephaniah 2 and 1. My last scripture. We ain't gonna do no questions. We gonna do Q&A? Oh, okay, don't sweat. This last scripture, then I'll give it up.
They already trying to rush us out.
Yeah, don't sweat. Give me Zephaniah 2 and 1.
Zephaniah chapter 2, verse 1. Gather yourselves together. Yea, gather together, all nation, not designed.
This is the time that we're in. We shouldn't be in the time of having these petty-ass disputes of whether I'm a white man following this Egyptology or nothing like that. The time is now for black people to stop loving white people, period. Egyptology is the love of white people. That's why Polight say he a humanitarian about world peace. I pulled it up on his own shit. That's why he said it. That's it?
Yeah.
Let it go.
All right, let's give it up, family. All right, we're gonna take some questions. Raise your hand if you have a question. I do not need you to stand up and try to teach. This is just questions. All right? We already had the two brothers doing that. So if you have questions, just ask your question quickly.
And don't bring up the waffling gland, please. Please.